lately I've been seeing all this discourse about Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev, and I'm here to tell you, it won't even be close. People are acting like we're comparing two similar fighters. No way. We're comparing a very talented striker versus one of the most complete, dominant MMA fighters of this era. So let's break it down, why this matchup is way more one-sided than people think. My first point, grappling. The problem is that a lot of people are judging JDM's defensive grappling based on fights where he was facing strikers, not wrestlers, not grapplers, not high-level Dagestani bullshit mall sambo wrestling, right? Talk about this whole idea where JDM's grappling is somehow on the level where he can just handle Islam and scramble out of it. Please. People keep pointing to the Belal fight like it's proof of something. When you actually watch that fight, it's a lot closer than you think. JDM didn't beat Belal by out-grappling him. He beat Belal by surviving the grappling enough to keep the fight where he wanted it, on his feet. Sure, he's good at getting back on his feet, but let's be honest about what we saw. Every time Belal actually got to his positions, JDM wasn't comfortably scrambling, he wasn't flowing, he wasn't out-techniquing at all. He was fighting just to stand up, defending, reacting, surviving. And there's a difference between being a good scrambler and being hard to hold down. And JDM's the second one. And even then, Belal still managed to drag him to the mat multiple times, he still got to the legs, he still got those rides, he still had moments where Jack looked stuck. But here's the part nobody wants to talk about. Belal is not Islam. Not physically, not technically, not in the way he chains his attacks, not in the way he controls transitions. Belal will shoot, reset, shoot again. Islam will shoot, chain, drag, ride, hook the leg, climb the hips, float you, maul you, keep building until you break. Brother should be in the NRL. What JDM dealt with in that fight was pressure, but not this kind of pressure. And that's what makes the comparison crazy to me, because even in JDM's title-winning performance, even on his best night, you could still see the stress in those grappling moments. You could see how hard he had to work just to keep it standing. You could see the panic, the back giving, the quick stance, the explosive bursts. Against Belal, that got him out of trouble. Against Islam, that will get him mounted. So when people act like the Belal fight shows that JDM is ready for Islam, it's like, man, were you even watching? He didn't neutralize the wrestling at all, he just survived it. And there's a big difference between surviving someone like Belal and surviving Islam Makhachev. Islam loves fighting boxers. He thrives in these matchups because boxers want that perfect mid-range. They want space, timing, clean entries, clean exits. And Islam doesn't give you any of that. He walks people down with patience, suffocating pressure. He crowds their feet, he gets chest to chest, and the second they feel comfortable enough to throw something clean, boom, he's on your hips. He's tying you up. He's, got your wrists, dragging you down into the clinch where he's stronger, calmer, and 1,000 times more technical. Islam doesn't stand at boxing range. He kicks you out of it, clinches you out of it, shoots you out of it, forces you to fight, forces you into a fight that is nothing like the one you prepared for. And that's why I feel like the Volk comparison never helps JDM. It actually helps Islam. Volkanovski is one of the best anti-grapplers, in UFC history. His balance is insane, scrambling's really elite, he's compact, explosive, blah blah blah, knows how to fight off wrists, and he knows how to build back up. Even with all of that, he still got mounted, he still got controlled, he still got put into bad positions where he had to fight back for his life. I think Islam had 7 minutes of control time or something. Islam still took rounds off him cleanly, so if that guy, Volk, one of the most well-rounded fighters in the sport has ever seen, couldn't stop Islam from dragging him into the grappling exchanges, what do you think JDM is going to do? Box his way out? Throw a jab? And hope Islam politely stays at preferred range? No. Volk showed you what happens when you defend perfectly. Islam will find a way to make it dirty, make it physical, to make it a grappling fight. And here's when the resume argument gets hilarious. People are talking like JDM has been out here fighting elite wrestlers every weekend.
No!
His whole run has been strikers, brawlers, hybrids, guys who can wrestle a little bit, but doesn't live in the world that Islam does, There is nobody on JDM's record who even comes close to the pressure, control, top game, danger, the chain wrestling that Islam brings. It's a completely different level, a different sport when Islam starts grappling, I swear. And then you look at Islam's resume. He submitted an elite grappler, Charles Oliveira. He's outstriked elite strikers, Volkanovski and Poirier. He's beaten elite wrestlers, Arman Sarukian. He's proven himself against specialists from every direction. He's solved every style people throw at him. So when people compare JDM to these guys, man, it's not fair to JDM. He hasn't been tested like that. He hasn't been pushed by that level of wrestling danger. He hasn't had to scramble for his career against someone who doesn't get tired, doesn't get reckless, and doesn't give you an inch. Another thing people don't talk about in this matchup is the fight IQ difference. Because with Islam, you're not fighting a grappler, you're fighting a guy who solves your plan in real time. Like with Charles Oliveira, he's patient, he read entries, he's seeing how Charles was reacting to pressure and like what openings he had. And the moment Charles gave him something, Islam drops him, jumps on him, and ends the fight with an arm triangle choke. Same thing in the first Volk fight. Volkanovski's tricky, he's hard to hold on to, scrambles like a demon. Islam didn't panic, he didn't rush. He changes angles, changed grips, transitions from single leg to body lock to trip, all inside the same sequence. Maybe people just think of wrestling and grappling, but they forget his judo trips, his sambo, his jujitsu. That's fight IQ. That's a guy making adjustments while other fighters are still trying to process what just happened, you know? Now compare that to JDM. This isn't disrespect, JDM's a killer, but he has one fight style, aggressive, forward, pressure boxing. That's his identity, you know? If the game isn't working, he's not going to magically turn into a wrestler or a counter striker or a jiu-jitsu wizard. He's going to bite down on the mouthpiece and do some more of the same shit. Against most guys at welterweight, that works. Against Islam, it's like trying to punch your way out of quicksand. It doesn't work. And then you can talk about strength, size, and discipline. Islam is already a big 155er. He walks around 170, naturally, I'm sure. And now he's big and on creatine. You can see it in every clinch exchange he's ever had. Guys don't just get taken down, they get absorbed. And once Islam has his hands locked, it's people may as well start leaving. It's done. Even in his earlier fights Arman's one of the strongest wrestlers at 155, and Islam matched him, move for move, scramble for scramble, for 15 minutes without slowing down. That's not normal. It's discipline. It's conditioning that doesn't break. JDM has never had someone push him like that. He's never had someone who can wrestle for 25 minutes without a dip. He's never dealt with a guy who keeps the same pressure in round 5 that he had in round 1. So, here's how I see it going. JDM is a problem on the feet, but his scrambling habits are way too loose for someone like Islam. I think Islam gets a hold of him in one of those messy exchanges, drags him down, stays attached, and catches that neck while Jack's trying to explode out. I reckon Islam by submission, round 2 or 3. Simple as that. Although, I would love if Islam could knock JDM out for the Kiwis.